Hi, I'm Mario and I'm a RIV trainer from Bolivia. I will guide you through this tutorial about modeling blocks in RIV20 for a multiple year analysis, a full-fledged business plan. Once we created the business concept and the business looks promising, we continue to develop the business plan and assess the years before the year in full production. Let's go back to visit Edwin. For the business concept, we assessed year 5, the year in full production. Let's see how he is planning to reach year 5. For the first 2 years, he will buy piglets and have them in his barn. We will use the same block for year 1 and 2 because the costs and revenues per cycle and per reference unit are the same. On year 3, he will start the construction of a new building with capacity for 40 piglets, but will be able to use it only in year 4. As the building is an investment cost, therefore the cost and revenue per cycle and per reference unit are the same, so it is the same activity block as the years 1 and 2. For year 4, Edwin will have the new barn operating with capacity for 40 piglets. We will assume that cost and revenues per reference unit are the same, so we can maintain the same block. Therefore, we will add 2 more UOR for that cycle. For the year 5 onwards, Edwin will take another breed, considered of higher quality. As costs and revenues will change, we must create a new block. If we use the reference unit of 40 piglets, then we have 2 per cycle corresponding to each building. For the future years, if Edwin builds a new building, he can simply modify the number of reference units per cycle. However, if he wants to have different breeds that report different costs and revenues, he will have to create the new blocks necessary. Let's go visit Carmen. She is part of a group of entrepreneurs who want to develop a multi-crop production on 1 hectare of land. On their year in full production, year 3, they will use half of the land to grow cassava, and on the other half they will grow maize during the cold season and cucumber and tomatoes during the warm season. Let's see how she plans to get there. They will start with 0.2 hectares of cassava over a cycle of 13 months, and during winter season, on the other half of the land, they will also grow maize. On year 2, cassava production will grow 0.3 hectares, and they will still have maize during cold season. But in that same plot, during the warm season, they will grow tomatoes and cucumbers. By year 3, the cassava production will be at 0.5 hectares, reaching to its full production, and they will continue growing maize and tomatoes and cucumber as before. As a perennial crop, cassava has a cycle longer than 1 year, so in the software, remember to deactivate the Repeat Yearly option and select the interval between cycles. As cassava production grows over time, we will choose 0.1 hectares of land as unit of reference, and we will increase its number per cycle. In the case of the maize, we could choose 0.1 hectare of land as a reference unit, but as production will stay the same over time, it might be easier to choose the entire maize production. And the block will be repeated every year during cold season. Tomatoes and cucumber will be grown during warm season in the same plot as the maize. Carmen says that the production costs are mainly common for the cucumber and the tomatoes along the same cycle of production, so we can have 1 block with 2 products and all the production costs grouped. We will also select the 0.5 hectares of land as reference unit, but as the first year Carmen says they will not plant tomatoes and cucumber, we will put 0 units of reference only starting on year 2. When modelling multiple years, having the correct reference unit will make it easier to model growth by just modifying the number of reference units per cycle. Also, remember you can group activities that have similar cycles and production costs in 1 single block.